Hello, Senator Sanders. Please excuse my nervousness. So my question is, I'm a senior in high school and I'm afraid for the future of my country. I would like to know how, as a concerned youth, how can I let my voice be known that I do not want my government transitioning to an oligarchy, denying climate change, and cutting taxes for the 1%?
Well, first of all, thank you for being here. You've taken a big step forward. And one of the, I think, very positive things that I am seeing all over this country is more and more young people running for office, getting involved in the political process. The first thing, I'm sorry, your first name is?
Zach.
Zach?
Yep.
Zach, what you gotta know, let me tell you a secret, you're not gonna see it on TV. You are a very powerful guy. You are a powerful person if you believe that you are powerful. If you understand that democracy is not a basketball game. I understand that you take basketball seriously here. I understand there's a big game down the street here. I got it. Everybody's going to be watching the game except the 12 or 15 guys who are playing tonight. Democracy is not the LeBron James show. Democracy is you and you and you. And what we have to understand is that when you stand up, when you get your fellow students involved, you know, tomorrow you can have a petition with 200 of your fellow students inviting your member of Congress to come and talk to you. And to say, don't bother coming back on election day if you're not prepared to come and talk to us today, to your governor, to your members of the legislature. You can, with your fellow students, make demands about divestiture in terms of fossil fuel industry. Do whatever you want to do. Racial justice, women's rights, whatever the issue is that you think is important. When you stand together and you say to the elected officials, hey, you know what? We actually know what's going on. And we are watching you. And if you don't do your job, we're going to get rid of you because she is thinking of running for your position. So you better come and talk to us. And you better tell us why you're voting for tax breaks for billionaires and cutting Social Security or Medicare, or making it harder for young people to go to college. Bottom line is, if you take the view there is nothing that you can accomplish, if you throw your hands up in despair, if you think you're powerless, you are powerless. If you think you are, I'll give you one example. If we were here 5 or 6 years ago, and somebody raised their hand and they said, Bernie, you know, this federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour is a starvation wage. We've got to raise it to 15 bucks an hour. Everybody in the room would say, 15 bucks an hour, you're out of your mind? You're thinking about more than doubling the minimum wage? It can't happen. But you know what happened? Very brave people in the fast food industry, people who are making 8, 9, 10 bucks an hour, they went out on strike. They demonstrated. They told the American people that nobody can make it on 10 bucks an hour, that the minimum wage has got to be raised to 15 bucks an hour, and people have the right to form unions. And you know what happened? Out in Seattle and in San Francisco, city councils started to pass that, and New York State, et cetera, because people stood up and fought back. Now, what people want to tell you, and you go through the history of this country, whether it's workers' rights, or whether it's civil rights, or whether it's women's rights, or environment, when people begin to stand up, other people say, oh, you can't accomplish it. Too hard. You're too big of a dreamer. Well, don't you believe that. Stand up and fight for justice. Bring your friends in.